Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a financial era that is being redefined. Before we begin, I'd like everyone to think about one question. In a world where everything is connected, what is the true nature of finance? FWF's answer is very clear. The future is network, and the real value of a network lies in flow. Today, we are not just talking about assets. We are re-understanding the life force of assets through liquidity. Most people believe that money sitting still is safe, but in reality, this is often just an illusion of safety. Traditional finance is built on systems that are static, centralized, and slow. In an environment of inflation and volatility, assets that cannot move are continuously losing value. What we are doing here is breaking this deadlock, so assets can truly come alive through movement. Let's look at what is happening in the real world. This is no longer science fiction, it is happening now. When Tesla replaces workers with robots, when BYD runs dark factories, humans are being removed from production lines. In capital terms, humans are shifting from resources to cost items. Even the gig economy, once seen as a safety net, is collapsing. Autonomous driving, AI logistics, and algorithmic systems are proving one thing clearly: machines are cheaper, faster, and scalable. So the question becomes, how do ordinary people protect their assets in this transformation? FWF's mission is to rebuild access to liquidity using AI, so more people can re-enter the flow of value. If we look back at history, we see clear waves. The first wave connected information, the internet. The second wave experimented with decentralization, Bitcoin, and blockchain. Today, we are standing at the third wave. This is no longer an early or chaotic stage. It is the trigger point of intelligent finance. And the clearest signal is this: institutional capital has already entered. Let's look at the West. This is no longer a game for speculators. It is a battlefield for giants. Payment platforms are integrating stablecoin settlement. Global card networks are processing digital asset transactions. The world's largest asset managers are accelerating asset tokenization. The signal is clear. Digital assets are moving from alternative experiments to mainstream infrastructure. In Asia, this transition is happening even faster. Digital assets are no longer limited to financial products. They are becoming life infrastructure. In Singapore, DBS Bank has seen its digital asset trading volume double year on year. In Hong Kong, HSBC has launched tokenized gold products for retail users, bringing digital assets directly into mainstream wealth management. Most notably, Grab has embedded Web3 wallets into daily transportation and lifestyle activities for tens of millions of users. When digital assets can be used to hail a ride, order food, and move through daily life, that signals a fundamental shift. In Asia today, crypto is no longer an experiment. It has become real, practical life infrastructure. So where does FWF fit into this wave? Our core capability is quantum liquidity. Unlike traditional linear transactions, FWF uses AI-driven liquidity calls. Through algorithms, we search for optimal paths across a global network, achieving high-frequency circulation and extreme efficiency. In simple terms, we use AI to install a quantum engine for capital. If capital is blood, FWF is the vascular system. We are building a global liquidity network that crosses borders, systems, and time zones. Through blockchain technology, capital is no longer restricted by geography or traditional financial barriers. Funds do not sleep. They remain in a continuous, efficient state of circulation. What supports such a large-scale network? 7 core systems. You don't need to remember every technical detail, just understand 3 key engines. First, the Quantum Liquidity Engine, the brain, driven by AI. Second, smart contract protocols, the rulebook, transparent and immutable. Third, the energy circulation system, the fuel that sustains internal economic flow. Together, they operate like a precision machine. In this network, every participant is a traffic pilot. The logic is simple. Activate nodes, inject liquidity, and contribute liquidity flow. You are not just accessing a channel. You are becoming a liquidity provider within the network, sharing in the liquidity output created by flow. To activate participation, Nodes are powered through energy configurations. First, you activate a node by purchasing an energy package. You can choose USD10 for a 1-watt package or USD40 for a 4-watt package. Once activated, you can inject liquidity, starting from 100 USDT up to 1000 USDT each time. Second, every time the smart contract completes one loop, your input plus 0.1% output is automatically sent back to your cold wallet. Your funds always stay under your control. The platform never touches them. Third, when funds stay idle in the wallet, they don't generate value. So the key is simple: re-inject and keep your capital moving. The more frequently your assets circulate, the higher the efficiency and value created. FWF follows a principle of extreme transparency. All platform revenue flows are visible and predefined. Every liquidity interaction strengthens the ecosystem foundation, ensuring long-term stability and continuous upward value formation. To maintain ecosystem health, FWF uses a dual-lane liquidity matrix. The fast lane handles high-frequency circulation. The slow lane builds depth, stability, and structure. Speed and stability work together, like breathing in and out. Participation growth follows a clear path, from Genesis to Vector to Apex, and finally to Ambassador level. Each level reflects network depth and contribution, not short-term activity. FWF introduces a dual-engine system, which is one of the core innovations of our platform. The first engine is FWQ. Based on your contribution to the ecosystem, you receive FWQ. As you progress through different rankings, you are entitled to enjoy up to 50% of the platform's energy pilot reward, known as FWD. These rewards can be settled in USDT, subject to standard transaction processing fees, or it can be converted into energy, which is used to activate and operate nodes within the system. The second engine is FWP. FWP represents long-term participation capacity within the network, anchored to the platform's token value. It reflects sustained engagement and computational participation, forming the long-term structural foundation of the ecosystem. Looking at the future market, the true value of a platform does not depend on concepts or storytelling. It depends on two fundamentals: the scale of active users and the ability to sustain continuous cash flow. Through the coordinated operation of these two engines, FWF ensures that every account remains active, builds strong internal momentum, and forms a solid foundation for the platform's long-term value assessment. Of course, all models and liquidity output must be built on one solid foundation: security. Here, I'd like to introduce the stabilizing core of FWF, the Dynamic Asset Treasury. What is the purpose of the DAT? In simple terms, it serves two functions: risk defense and liquidity depth. The DAT is the value heart of the entire network. It absorbs system inflows and provides continuous credit support and structural backing for the whole ecosystem. So, what exactly is inside the treasury? FWF does not rely on abstract promises. We focus on real, tangible reserves. The DAT is composed of globally recognized mainstream assets, including Bitcoin, BTC, Ethereum, ETH, Solana, SOL, BNB, and USDT. This diversified asset structure provides deep liquidity depth and builds a strong risk defense mechanism, capable of withstanding one-sided market fluctuations. Internal reserves alone are not enough. In finance, trust is not a slogan. It must be verifiable. That is why FWF formally introduced independent third-party audits conducted by the Ascent Group. Some may ask, who is the Ascent Group? They are a globally recognized compliance leader with 23 offices worldwide, specializing in audits for digital asset funds. They oversee more than $24 billion in assets, with over 30% related to digital asset institutions. One of the most well-known entities they audit is OKX, the world's second-largest digital asset exchange. FWF publishes monthly proof-of-asset reports, with official verification links available for all users to review. This reflects our commitment to the highest standards of compliance and transparency. Every fund flow and every data point is subject to international verification standards. Endorsement by an institution of this scale demonstrates that FWF is not only technologically advanced, but also stands firmly on the global financial stage in terms of security and compliance credibility. This slide outlines FWF's core development path over the next 2 years. We don't focus on slogans, we focus on execution. 2026 is our foundation year. Our primary mission is to fully deploy the core treasury infrastructure, completing a secure closed loop for asset storage and liquidity utilization. 2026 marks the ecosystem expansion phase. On top of a solid foundation, we will gradually roll out GameFi and lifestyle consumption scenarios, step by step, from financial tools to a full ecosystem. With this roadmap in place, where are we heading? FWF's ultimate vision is to build a complete digital commercial civilization known as Freedom City. This is not just a metaverse, it is a survival vessel for the intelligent era. As traditional systems collapse and leave many people uncertain, participants here will no longer rely on fragile physical labor. Instead, they engage through AI-driven quantum liquidity, compete in GameFi environments, and participate in governance through DAO structures. Here, finance is no longer cold numbers. It becomes a foundational layer deeply integrated with life, entertainment, and social interaction. This is the digital commercial civilization we are building. At this point, the most common question is how to participate. The process is simple and structured. First, activate energy. Select a suitable configuration to initialize your account. Second, inject liquidity. Connect your assets to the AI quantum engine and allow technology to operate. Third, generate liquidity output. Each completed liquidity loop produces a 0.1% liquidity output settled automatically. No complex operations are required. Participation begins with a simple activation. I'd like to close with one message. The future does not belong to those who predict it, but to those who participate in building it. Opportunities often belong to those who enter early. Let us navigate the future together, lead the way forward, and create freedom through flow. Thank you.